everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be making a bracelet today with some of the components from the January bargain bead box. In case you're not familiar, the bargain bead box is a monthly subscription of beads and findings. It's $19.49 a month, and that includes shipping. They have beautiful beads and findings, and it's curated around a different theme each month. And if you're a subscriber to the Bargain Bead Box, you get a 30% off coupon to use in Bead Box Bargains, which is their sister store. And you can use it as many times as you want to during the month. And they already have great prices, so that 30% off coupon, that makes it even greater. It's wonderful. First of all, I just wanted to let y'all know that I have fingernails now. If you watched any of my past videos, you'll know that I didn't really have any fingernails before. And I mentioned in one of my past videos that I would never have the beautifully manicured nails that the other ladies here on YouTube have, because with the way I shake, if I were to get a hold of a bottle of fingernail polish, it would be everywhere but my nails. And then I remembered they have fake nails. So I decided I was going to get some fake nails. So I don't get out much. My mobility is limited. So I sent my husband to get me some fake nails, and I told him to get the press-on kind. And being a man and not knowing even as much about this stuff as I do, and I know very little about it, he brought home the kind you have to glue on. And I've never applied fake nails, never even had fake nails applied, so I didn't know what I was doing. I don't think I did a very good job. I think I got too much glue in places. I don't even know if I can use these things, because I've never had nails before. I'm not sure I can do this with them, but I'm going to try. So I've got some of I had 4 of these little blue opaque rondelles out of the rondelle mix that I'm going to use. There were some clear ones in the mix, but I used all mine, but I had some in my stash that were just the same. I have one of the little moon and star links here, and I have one of the little links that's just got the moon on it. There. I have one of the toggles that came in the box and some jump rings. And I'm going to make some dangles because I just can't seem to make a bracelet without dangles. I've got a rondelle here that was in the mix. It's not opaque blue. It's blue, but it's not opaque, so I'm going to use it for a dangle. I've got a couple of ball head pins. I've got some of the chain here. I'm not going to use all this, just a few links to hang my dangles on. And I've got some little 4mm jump rings that I really don't know if I can pick up with these nails. Who knows, it may make it easier. I've got one of the little metal star beads that I'm going to use as a dangle, and one of the little check pressed glass blue beads that I'm going to use as a dangle. And this is just a little dish of emergency jump rings in case any of my jump rings go flying across the room, which is entirely possible when it comes to me. And I have a couple extra clear rondelles in there in case I need them. I'm not real sure. When I make these beaded chains, I just have to kind of measure as I go, just so I'm not really sure how many I'm going to need. I've got some pieces of 22 gauge German style wire. It's Bead German style wire is what I use. It's 22 gauge. I'm going to use that. And I have my tools. I have my Xuron. Again, there went a pair in the floor. I have a pair of Xuron cutters. I have 2 pair of Xuron cutters. This pair I just use to cut beading wire, and this pair is an older pair that's not as sharp, and I use it to cut things like head pins and eye pins and craft wire like this. So I'm not going to be using these today because I'm not really using any bead string wire. I've got my Xuron tweezer pliers. I just love these. I think these are the best things ever invented. I use them for so much stuff. I've got a pair of bent nose pliers, Xuron bent nose pliers here. These are the kind with the 90-degree angle. I've got my crimpers. I'm not going to be crimping today, but I use these when I cut my wire off to tuck in the little ends of the wire that are left. I've got some round nose pliers and some bent nose pliers. I said before I didn't know where I got these, but I remember now. I got a set of pliers off of BB Craft, and that's where these came from. And I've got my ruler, because I'm going to have to measure as I go. And I've got my trusty little shot glass that I'm going to put my little pieces of wire in after I cut them off. So I'm going to get started here, but I'm going to pause for a minute and pick up these pliers that fell on the floor. Okay, I'm back. My plan is I'm going to do a blue rondelle, a clear rondelle, a blue rondelle, a clear rondelle, my link, a blue rondelle, clear rondelle, blue rondelle, and my other link. I think that'll be long enough, but if it's not, I got a couple extra clear ones over here. I just have to measure as I go. I messed up here. I wrapped a couple of these, and I meant to wrap this one and then connect this one, wrap this one and connect it to that one, and then wrap this one, connect it to that one. But my mind was wandering, as it does a lot, and I just picked up two of them and wrapped them before I knew what I was doing. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix that. It's not a problem. So I'm going to take one of my pieces of wire, and I'm going to take my tweezer pliers. I'm going to come down about 1 inch, and I'm going to make a 90-degree bend over the tool. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and I'm going to put it in the little crook there. And I want to make that about that. I'm going to come here on the pliers because I want to make about that size of loop. You can mark your pliers if you want to, so you know where to put it every time. I'm going to bend my wire back until it hits, till it can't go any further. And my pliers are facing me. I'm going to rotate my pliers until they're facing the bead mat. And then I'm going to push my wire back until it hits the tool. I'm going to crook it a little bit so that that loop is centered over the wire, or kind of centered. It's not real good centered, but that's what you want to do. Center it over the wire there. And now I'm going to open the loop a little bit. Put my one that I've already wrapped here in here. Snap it in there. And then I'm going to close it back. I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and hold my loop. I'm going to hold your loop really good and tight, or it'll come out of shape. And now I'm going to wrap around this wire probably about 3 times is usually what I do. I don't remember if I said these little pieces of wire are about 3.5 inches long. 4 inches. I might have should have done 4 inches. Okay, now I'm going to cut the little piece of wire that's left there and put the piece I cut off in my little New Orleans shot glass. Okay, now I'm going to take my clear rondelle and put it on. Now I'm going to take my tweezer pliers and I'm going to put it right to the end of the pliers because I don't want a very big neck. And you might notice most people make their loops the same way. And I have always done that, made my loops the same way. But when I'm making these little beaded chains, they tend to get tangled up in each other. And I just watched a tutorial the other day from Alicia from Beautiful Nights, and she makes hers the opposite way because she says that keeps it from getting tangled up like that. So I'm going to try that for a while and see if that helps me. So that's why I'm doing it this way. So I'm going to bend it over the top of the plier, and then I'm going to take my round nose pliers again and go about the same place on the pliers. Turn my plier back till it hits turn my wire back until it hits the bead. Pliers are facing me right now. I'm going to rotate until they're facing the table, the bead mat. Hold really tight and push my wire under here until it hits the tool and can't go any further. I'm going to take my round nose pliers. Oh, I forgot to crook it back a little bit to center it over the bead. Now I'm going to take it out. I'm going to open the loop. I'm going to put this other one that I wrapped and I shouldn't have in here and snap it in there. And then I'm going to close my loop back. Then I'm going to take my bent nose pliers and put that in there. Take my other bent nose pliers and grab my wire and wrap. And this first turn for me is the most important, if I can get it done well. And I don't think I did. If I can get it done well, then the rest of them seem to work out pretty good. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now, okay, so now I'm going to take my cutters and cut my extra wire. And then I'm going to take my crimping pliers and tuck in my the little burrs of metal there that are left. And so now I've got my chain the way it should have been to begin with. That, you can do that too if you want to make just a really big, I've done that a lot, make a really big long necklace, continuous necklace with no clasp, like that would be long enough to go over your head. That's how you would join it at the end. So now I'm going to take another piece of wire, take my pliers, go down about an inch, maybe a little more than an inch, because I don't think I had hardly enough room to wrap that last time. Bend it over the top of the plier, round those pliers in the crook, pliers facing me, bend the wire over till it hits the tool, rotate the plier until it's facing the table, push the wire back under there till it hits the tool, crook it back a little to center it over the wire, open the loop, and always open the loop out like this, never pull it this way, just like we do a jump ring. Then I'm going to take my chain, put it in there, close the loop back, my bent nose pliers, hold my loop, make about 3 wraps. You make as many wraps as you want to. Make 2, 4, whatever you want to do. I just usually always make 3. I'm going to cut off the extra. Put my next clear bead on. Take my pliers, go to the very end, bend my wire over the pliers. That gives you a little space there to put your round nose pliers in. Wrap the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate my pliers till they're facing the table. Bend my wire back until it hits the tool. Crook it back a little bit so that it'll be centered on the wire. Take my bent nose pliers, my other bent nose pliers, hold the loop really tight, and wrap. that. Okay. I might have wrapped a little bit too much that time. A hard time getting it cut off. Well, just doesn't want to get cut off for me here. There we go. Now, take my crimping pliers and squish in my little ends. Okay, now I'm going to connect this section to the link. So I'm going to make this little section by itself. I went for years and I would not do anything at all with the wire because it just intimidated me so. I didn't think I could do it. It looked really hard. The first few times I tried to do it were epic failures. So I just stopped even trying for the longest time. And then I decided to try again. And I watched probably 100 YouTube videos. And I educated myself a little bit better about the different types of wire. And then I practiced. And I finally got to where, I don't do anything. There are people that I see do things with wire that absolutely amaze me. I don't do anything other than these simple little wire wrap loops or simple loops. And sometimes I can wire wrap around a bead a little bit, but nothing too intricate. But I found that the German style wire really helps me make better wrapped loops. And I just messed up again. I forgot to connect that to my chain because I got to talking. Start over again here. Because it's half hard, that little bit of extra hardness helps me keep my loops round. Now I've seen people use the dead soft wire and make beautiful, perfect wrapped loops. So I'm not saying it can't be done with dead soft wire. It certainly can. Just not by me. I need the extra hardness to keep my loops round. But now that's just me. It's not, that's what works for me. But until I tried the German style wire, my loops were always never round. Okay, now I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing, and I'm going to open my loop. Well, now what am I saying? I didn't have to do that. I was all right that first time. I get to talking, I just don't pay attention. I'm starting all over here, so I'm fine. I'm going to put my blue bead on, the first piece of wire I wrapped that I thought I messed up. And then I'm going to wrap the other side. And I never noticed until I started watching these videos back and my hands were all magnified how many cat scratches I've got on them. I've got a cat. She's not mean. She's just playful like all cats are. And I just didn't realize I had those ugly cat scratches on my hands until I saw that. Her name is Lily. We got her when I first started beading. I've had cats my whole life. I'm a cat person. I've had cats on and off my whole life. And when I first started beading, I didn't think I'd be able to have another house cat because I thought I would, if I did, I would have to make sure to always put my beads up and never leave them laying out because the cat would get in them and they'd be all over the place, even more so than they are when I'm fooling with them. And then about a year ago, she was a stray that somebody dropped her off, and we took her in, and I decided I wanted to keep her in the house. So I was really careful. I was always putting up my beads and stuff so she couldn't get in them. And then I realized she's not like all the cats I've ever had before. She never tried to get into anything. She doesn't ever get up on the table and try to get into stuff. I could leave my beads out all over the place and she didn't bother them. She just plays with her toys and things she finds that she decides are her toys. But she never tries to get up on the table or get into things. And she doesn't like to be picked up and held. She likes to be petted, but she doesn't like to be picked up and held. She won't get up on the couch or the chair with us and sit next to us. She's just a different cat than I have ever had before. And she plays fetch. I have never had a cat that plays fetch. Like a dog, she will bring us her toys and want us to throw them for her. And then she'll go get them and bring them back to us. I've never had a cat that played fetch. You all let me know in the comments if you have any pets that are unusual in the way they act, different than normal. I'd be interested to know. But we tell everybody she's the queen of the castle. We tell everybody it's her house. We just live here. I would take a picture of her and let y'all see her, but she's kind of camera shy. Whenever I come toward her with the camera, she runs. I don't think she likes the camera very much. Her name, I don't know if I said her name is Lily. I think I did. Now I'm going to wrap this one. I'll finish this one and then I'll do the other one off camera so that this video doesn't get too terribly long. It's probably going to take me forever when I get to the part where I'm making the dangles and I'm filling with those little bitty links of chain. Okay. Try to stay in frame. I don't know if I have been. I try to watch, but I get to talking. Okay. I'm going to finish this last one off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, y'all, I'm back. Actually, I've been back a couple of times. I got this all done and then my camera had not been recording or something. And then I'm having a time struggling with these little 4mm jump rings and these nails. But I've decided I'm going to have to leave out this little link because it's making my bracelet too long. So I'll have to use him for something else. I put a 4mm jump ring on each side of this link because I need two between here, and I didn't want you to have to, you're going to see me struggling with these little 4mm jump rings enough, and I figured I'd get that much done. I'm going to thread a 4mm jump ring onto this 4mm jump ring and thread on my beaded chain and close it. I think. That is not closed well. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring, which have suddenly become my enemy, and don't know what made me think I could do this with nails when I have a hard enough time without nails. I'm going to thread on my chain. And this jump ring. Okay, now I have got 4 little links of the Rolo chain. Just 4 little, well, just 4 little links of the Rolo chain. And that looks blurry, but I don't know. Hope you can see that. 4 little links. I've already wrapped these because, like I said, I've already done this. So I've got a little metal star wrapped on a ball head pin, and the little blue star and the little blue link here. I've got a 4mm jump ring on that. I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring and ask him to please behave. Open up, put my metal star on, and thread it to the bottom of these 4 links of chain. Close him back up. And then I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. I've discovered the secret. Just don't handle it with my hands at all. Just handle it with the tools. Put my little blue star on here. I'm going to pick up my chain. I'm going to thread the blue star. I'm going to skip a link of the Rolo chain and thread the blue star on the second to the top link. And close it up. That was much more successful than the first time I did it. Now I'm going to take a bigger jump ring, which at this point feels like it's gigantic now that I've been messing with those little 4mm. I'm going to put my beaded chain on. I'm going to take my link here, these links, these stars here that I made, and find the top part of the chain that I didn't put anything on, and thread it on the jump ring, and then thread this little bead dangle I made onto the jump ring. Close it, and then I'm going to take another bigger jump ring, thank goodness, and thread it onto Come on now, behave. Thread it onto this bigger jump ring. Thread my toggle bar on. Close it up. Then I'm going to take another bigger jump ring. Thread this side on and thread my toggle loop on. Close it up. And there. Let's see how long this came out to be. It's a little over, that's right at 7 inches. Well, that's pretty good. Look, maybe a little bit over 7 1/4. So there was clasp it together here. And there it is. Simple little bracelet. Kind of had me wanting to pull my hair out because of the nails, and maybe I'll get used to them. I hope I will. Thank you so much to all of you who have watched my videos, subscribed, liked, commented. I appreciate it more than you know. I've had such sweet comments, some from people who have a trimmer like mine and how they also like to make jewelry and have found ways to manage. I think that's wonderful. Life's too short not to do the things we enjoy doing if at all possible. And the trimmer I have is not uncommon. It's just in my hands. I'm sure most people know somebody who has a trimmer. I think a lot of people develop it when they're older, but there are also people like me. Mine started when I was in my early 20s, so I've had a lot of time to learn to live with it. I'm just grateful that it's not anything worse than a benign trimmer. I know it could be. I know that there are people who have much bigger problems than mine. I can still see fairly well as long as I have my reading glasses and about 1,000,000 lights back here. I'm just grateful and feel blessed that I'm able to manage and do this hobby that I enjoy so much. Let me know in the comments if you or somebody you know has a tremor or any other kind of condition that interferes with their ability to do the things they like to do and how they manage. I'm sure there are lots of tips and tricks that I don't know about. I have some ideas for future tutorials. I can't believe I'm hearing myself say that. If you had told me even a month ago that I'd be doing something like this, I wouldn't have believed it. But I feel more comfortable now, and it's because you all have been so nice and supportive. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested. I've had some people ask if I have a Facebook page and an Instagram. I do, and I'll leave a link to them in the description box below as well. The Facebook page is a group page, and I didn't really know what I was doing when I made it. I think you have to request to be a member, and I don't know how to change that. But of course, I'll accept anyone who wants to be a member. There's not much on it because I worry about flooding people's news feeds with pictures of jewelry. But I'd love to see some of the things you all make. So until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.